Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome Rory McIlroy to the press centre to this year's Masters. Thanks very much for joining us, Rory. Rory, second place finish in the 2022 Masters, record equalling 64 last round, and I believe you've been here the last couple of weeks. You've played well, you've putted well. What kind of confidence does that give you coming into this week?
Look, good to be back. Obviously, the last time this tournament was played, I walked away from the course in the tournament pretty happy with myself, as you can see on the screen over there. But yeah, it's always great to be back at the Masters. Feel like obviously the whole field has sort of been building up to this point. The entire calendar year. So good to be back. As you said, I've been up here quite a bit. Recent weeks I've played 81 holes in the last sort of 2.5 weeks. So sort of very familiar with the place again, and obviously just looking forward to getting the week started.
Perfect. I'm going to open it up to questions. Jeff?
Rory, you're thinking of playing a lot here in advance. What's kind of the thinking behind that, and then just sort of your take on 13 after playing it again yesterday with Tiger and the group? Yeah,
I think more than anything else, it's just fun. It's fun to be here. It's fun to play. It's a treat. I came up here last Thursday. I was sort of just on a whim. I texted Shane Lowry and I said, look, we're going to be practicing in Florida. Why don't we just go up here for a day? And, it's just a treat to come up here and play. Just I feel like you go around here, and whether you learn something new or not, it's just a nice way to spend a day. So there's no real thinking behind playing more so than other years. It's just it's fun to be up here. And 13 is the second shot's much more challenging than it used to be. The tee shot is a little there's probably less thought that needs to go into the tee shot. You don't need to do as much with it. You don't need to turn it around the corner as much. But that second shot, I had two tee shots there yesterday, and the second tee shot I took just a little further left and had a 5-iron in, and that ball is a good 18 inches or 2 feet above you. It's a big decision, and I've listened to some of the guys. I think DJ said yesterday that if he had more than a 5-iron in, he was probably going to lay up. And I think depending on where the hole location is as well, you're going to see guys lay up to some pins and maybe go for some others. But it certainly puts the choice back in your mind. That there never, since I've played here since 2009, there's never really been a choice. If you hit a good tee shot, you go for the green. But now there's a decision to be made.
Daniel?
Obviously different communicating online or through headlines than being in person with someone. And so as a week like this where there's 18 live guys and a bunch of PGA Tour guys and all of you guys are intermingling and it seems like everything is okay, does it sort of change the dynamic between you guys?
Yeah, look, it's not as if I don't see, some of these guys at home on weeks off. I see Brooks quite a lot. I see DJ quite a lot. We sort of all practice at the same place. So, yeah, but as you said, I think the more FaceTime you get with people, the more comfortable you become in some way. I think I'm going to go play 9 holes with Brooks here in a little bit. So it's look, and there's so many different, it's a very nuanced situation, and there's different dynamics, and it's okay to get on with Brooks and DJ and maybe not get on with some other guys that went to it, right? Like it's a interpersonal relationships. That's just how it goes. But this is this week in this tournament is way bigger than any of that, I feel, and it's just great that all the best players in the world are together again for the first time in what seems to be quite a while.
Oliver? Okay, Brian?
Rory, you've had so many great experiences here over the years and a few other challenging years. Just wondering what's the difference between accumulating, experience and perhaps accumulating a little bit of scar tissue?
I think you have to go through everything, right? Like it's not, I don't think, not every experience is going to be a good experience. I think that would lead to a pretty boring life. You know, you have to learn from those challenges and learn from some of that scar tissue that's built up. But, you know, I felt last year that I maybe shed some of that scar tissue and felt like I sort of made a breakthrough. So, you know, I'm feeling as sort of relaxed as I ever have coming in here, just in terms of, you know, feel like my game's in a pretty good place. And, you know, I know the place just about as well as anyone. So, but yeah, you know, good experiences, bad experiences, it all adds up at the end of the day. And, you know, you probably learn a bit more from those bad experiences. And I feel like I've done pretty well at, you know, sort of putting those lessons into my play and being better because of them.